Hi, this is Frank Furness, and I'm in beautiful Queensland up on the Sunshine Coast, and I'm actually at Alan's house, or his mansion over here. You can see I'm in his private recordings.
The estate.
The estate, sorry, I'm in the estate of Allan Pease over here, and this takes me right back to my old days of being a professional drummer. I was with some other musicians. I was the drummer. Well, I was the clever one. I got all the girls. You were just you were a pianist and guitarist. How did you do that?
Yeah, well, I was the lead guitarist and the singer back in those days, and as long as you held your face right, you always got the chicks.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe that's where it all started, with how to pick up chicks when we were musicians, because that's where you learned your body language. And I think that's resulted in your best-selling book. So you and Bob have written this best-selling book. What is the name of your latest book?
Well, the latest, there's a series of three. The first one was Why Men Don't Listen to Women Can't Read Maps, which was a huge worldwide #1. The sequel was Why Men Don't Have a Clue and Women Always Need More Shoes. So we go for titles, everyone says, yeah, that's my life. And the latest one, which is out recently, is Why Men Want Sex But Women Need Love. And so it's the biology of the brain and why we perceive the world the way we do.
So tell us a little bit more about some of these things. Tell me about your last book. I love that title. And why are some of the things there? Why do men want sex and women want love? How does all that work?
Well, the fun thing about all these books is that the series of books, we've sold nearly 20 million of those three titles. It's been a phenomenon for us. And it's been TV series, there's been a box office movie in Europe. It's just been a huge thing. And the thing that makes me laugh about it, really, Frank, is that we're talking about things that men and women already know. I mean, with a title like Why Men Don't Listen to Women Can't Read Maps, it's firstly, it's going to be provocative, particularly the Americans.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to say, I can read maps, there's women everywhere in America, I can read a map, and he's hopeless, Normally we're with the mustache, he says that. So what makes us different? Well, the first thing is that we use brain scanners to work out how men and women think about differences of things. That's been the whole theme of our series. And with Sex and Love, we took 300 people who were shown pictures of and images of men or women, opposite sex people, they found highly attractive and arousing. See, what part of the brain's being used to do this? And 104 of these people describe themselves as currently crazy in love as the criteria for someone. And the crazy in love people had an area in the centre of the brain in the middle here that lit up when they're looking at pictures of their beloved. The same area of the brain that cocaine addicts light up in when they're sniffing cocaine. So when you say crazy in love, you're a drug addict, you're actually crazy.
Right.
Which brings obvious strategies. Don't go into any business or buy real estate for somebody you're in love within 1 year, because you're asking for serious trouble. Would you go into business with a drug addict? Well, the answer is no, most of us wouldn't. And it's the same, you think you're in charge, but you're not. You go for the ride because it's fun, but don't do anything financial or buy a house. So how do we look at men and women of the opposite sex? Well, when women look at pictures of dreamy guys, the guys they really love, the cocaine part lights up. It doesn't happen for men. Men become very clinical and very black and white about this. Most people know that if you show pictures of naked women to a man, anywhere in the world, he becomes stony-faced. He goes like that. You show pictures of naked men to women, you know what they do? They start laughing. They start laughing at pictures of naked. So when women look at dreamy guys, they love the middle part here lights up, and two parts either side, short-term and long-term memory, also light up. So what she's doing is, she's comparing these guys to guys she's known in the past who look like that, talk like that, had a nose like that, had eyes or haircut like that, and she's doing a job description. She's checking out his personality. Now when men are looking at pictures of women they find arousing, that doesn't happen. Bottom line is, when a guy opens a Playboy centrefold, he's not wondering, does she vote for world peace, does she have a nice personality, and can she cook? He is not thinking that, Frank.
No, I know exactly what he is thinking.
I know you know that, I'm trying to be gentle on you. Now that's not politically correct, but it's biologically absolutely accurate. But the movies and television, particularly Hollywood, tries to convince us that men now think like women, that they want to spend endless time talking and discussing every little detail of everything, and that they like to cook and do all these other things men have never done. And men will do that. I mean, I do that because I know that I'll get a benefit if I do that. I don't want to do that. It's not my driven urge.
But you get the rewards.
I get the reward. My driven urge is to have sex, which is what men do. And a lot of women don't like that idea, but if you understand what drives men to have sex and why women are not driven to have sex, they're driven for love, and sex is a consequence that goes with it. For men, we are driven for sex, and love sometimes becomes part of that. It's the complete opposite way around. And if you approach the opposite sex on that basis, then you can build really healthy relationships because you know what you're getting. If a couples get together, they lie.
So if I want to have sex tonight, I've got to wash the dishes this morning.
Not with me, Frank.
Oh, no.
Not a second time. Not a second time, Frank.
Oh.
You've completely, testosterone, you've completely forgot what you're talking about, Frank. So what do you? Oh yes, okay. What do you have to do? Well, most guys are not aware that the sight of a man vacuuming a carpet is a bigger turn on for a woman than some picture of a sex aid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this, most men just can't believe that women would find that a turn on, because of the fact that he's fulfilling very ancient biological needs she's got for maintenance of the cave that is motivating and attractive to women. And for men, a guy vacuuming a carpet, I mean, the guy's either gay or he's stupid.
Yeah.
So no, this guy gets the chicks.
Yeah. So now what do we do for dating? I mean, this would be brilliant. For anyone watching this, dating would be great.
Well, the thing about dating is that to realise that in the first 3 to 9 months of new love, and we spent a lot of time in that last book, that Why Men Want Sex, Women Need Love, analysing what happens in that first part of new love. The first 3 to 9 months of new love, where people are crazy about each other. The scientific term for that is the shagathon, or the bonkorama, as we technically call it. During that time, couples are unable to make rational, logical decisions about what they want. They think they can, but the reality is they can't. And so what you do is you write a list of your ideal, perfect partner, which includes physical things, what they physically look like, colour of their hair, their eyes, their height, their shape, what they might wear, so what they physically look like, so you know how to identify them. And next you write a list of what their core values and beliefs are, what they think about kids, family, finances, sex, and social, the basic 5 things that keep couples together in the long term. Sex drives us together for procreation at the start, but core values and beliefs is the only thing that's left after those hormones wear off, because between 9 and 24 months after this crazy love situation, we took blood samples of people who, at the start of new love, and 2 years later, and for 90% of those people, those love hormones had completely disappeared from their blood. They're not there anymore. And all you're left with is core values and beliefs. And if you don't have them, then you wake up and you say, who the hell's that? You don't know.
Yeah.
And everybody watching this knows what I'm talking about, because we've all been to it. We say, what am I doing here? It was because you were driven by hormones, not by core values and beliefs. So you write out your core values and beliefs of what this person's like and their physical appearance. So it becomes a job description. You do that before you ever meet them. And you carry it with you. You keep it on your wall, you post one on your fridge, you put one on your screensaver. Because if, for example, the perfect woman in the world for you, Frank, for example, was, let's say she had green eyes, bright red hair and freckles, for example, which only 7% of women fit that description. If you wrote that down, you'd start seeing that woman appear everywhere. Whatever car you drive, when you drive out, you see the car everywhere. And you're in a high car right now.
Yeah.
That car you're in now, it's a high car, you've rented it here in Queensland. But everywhere you go, you see that car everywhere.
Yeah.
Because you've put it in your mind.
Yes.
But if you didn't hire that car, you wouldn't see those cars. And that's exactly how it works with a partner. Write out a description of exactly everything you want of them, and they will start to appear in front of you. That's how I met Barbara. I wrote a job description.
And that's
exactly what she looked like, what she sounded like, and she appeared in front of me.
And now you've been married?
21 years.
And you've written how many books and how many products?
We've done 17 books in that time. We've had 17 top 10s, 9 number ones in a row now, which has been great. So far, so good. And product-wise, we've probably had not as much as you, because you're the king of tuning out product, maybe 17 or 18 programs. We've sold 26 million books and we're in 52 languages, so it's worked out really well. It's a good double act.
So it's great. So you're not only partners in love, but you're partners in business as well.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what you were looking for.
And the interesting thing is that I wanted both. I wanted somebody who could be my perfect female partner, but also be a running mate. Somebody who could run with me and travel the world and do these things. And Barb runs the business she has now for over 20 years. And I only do 3 things. I do interviews like this. I come up with ideas of new products, and I do the first write on books. I write the first ideas, and then she writes the female version of it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it works really well. And we've never had an argument in business. In our love life, every second day, because we're normal. But business life, no, because business life is run by clearly defined rules. I know what she does. She got a job description. I got mine, and we don't cross each other. When it comes to love, it doesn't quite work that way.
Emotions come in, all kinds of other things start to take place.
But when we're at work, we know we're at work. But most couples who work together can't separate when they're at work and when they're actually together as a couple. And one can come across the other way. You can say, well, can you get that for me now? She might say, don't talk to me like that. Whereas if she was a hired help, she'd say, sure.
Yeah.
And everybody would be happy.
Make me a cup of tea. What am I, you're a slave? Yeah.
You know the lines, Frank.
Yeah. Well, you've got some great ideas there on the video. I hope you've really enjoyed watching myself and Allan Pease, the master. Go out and take a look at some of the books and products. By the way, take a look at the link below and have a look at some of the other great products and services. And there it is right there.